right? So we're going to go to 2 Chronicles chapter 35. Remember we came here, Second Chronicles Hezekiah. I think that was a few chapters prior to this. Okay. How the Most High accepted Hezekiah's Passover, even though they were not, cleansed and didn't have it perfect according to the law. The Most High still accepted it. Okay, still accepted it because once again, just certain things that take time and things like that, so they wouldn't be able to, knock it out. But their heart was in the right place to serve the Most High God, and that's something that's very important. That don't limit yourself saying, I don't got enough time. But right now is the acceptable time. Okay. Right now is the acceptable time to get right to serve the Most High. All right. So we want to set Chronicles chapter 35. We're going to read a good amount of it, but we probably won't do the chapter. I might go to another account because Josiah has two accounts. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to hold out too long. So 2 Chronicles chapter 35, right? 2 Chronicles chapter 35, and we're going to start at verse 1. All right. I got too much things on my screen, sorry. So 2 Chronicles 35, I'm going to start at verse 1. All right. So it says, moreover, Josiah kept a pet. I'm sorry. Kai, you mean you have yours on off of mute?
Yeah, I would have read it for you.
Oh, you read? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he was home or not. Okay.
Uh,
Always accept that.
uh, 2 Chronicles 35, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, Josiah kept a Passover unto Yahweh in Jerusalem, and they killed the Passover on the 14th day of the first month.
Okay. So you look at this, beloved. So Josiah kept the Passover unto who? Unto Yahweh. This is what this is about. Okay. A lot of times we'll get confused and not confused. Sometimes we'll get misunderstood, misguided, right? This Passover, to keep the Passover, you want to keep it unto Yahweh. You want to keep it unto your God. Okay. A lot of people that can keep Passover, all right, but they're not keeping it to God. To do it according or unto God, you must do it how He's illustrating for us to do it. Right? Not just even the physical aspect, what they were doing with the lambs and everything, but it really supposed to be what? From the heart. Your sincerity to serve the Most High God. This is what this event for, is for the children of God, right? A holy people come together. All right, this is what this is about, and this event and feast is for. Okay, so he kept the Passover in Yahweh in Jerusalem, and they did what to the Passover? What did
Killed,
they do?
killed
They
the
killed the
Passover.
Passover on what day?
14th day.
All right. It says killed. Don't say they ate nothing. It just says they killed it on the 14th day right now. All right. Let's read what's happening. Verse 2.
And he set the priests in their charges, and encouraged them to the service of the house of Yahweh.
Mhm.
And said
Read
unto the And it said unto the Levites that taught all Israel, which were holy unto Yahweh, put the holy ark in the house which Solomon the son of David, king of Israel, did build. It shall not be a burden upon your shoulders. Serve now Yahweh your God and his people Israel.
Right. So they had to what? Set the leadership up, right? The priest, he's saying, gave them the charges. They had a job to do. All right. So he set them their charges, their duties, and encouraged them to the service of the house of Yahweh. So all right. So he got them to go and do the things they're supposed to be doing. He's saying, listen, put the what? Put the holy ark, okay, or the Ark of the Covenant, you might call it, right? So to the house which Solomon built. So bring it to the temple. It should no longer be a burden on your shoulders. All right. This is how we would we were supposed to carry the ark. There's a story how they did do it like that, but it was to carry the ark on their shoulder. All right. So he's saying, put that in the house of the Lord which Solomon built. All right, in the temple. Put that in the temple where it belongs. Okay. Verse 4.
And prepare yourselves by the houses of your fathers after your courses, according to the writing of David, king of Israel, and according to the writing of Solomon his son.
All right. So we have to prepare ourselves. Another thing, beloved, when we're doing something for the Lord, we have to prepare ourselves. It ain't just you wait till that day, okay, now no, part of keeping it is the preparation. Okay? Say it again. Part of keeping it is the preparation. All right. We fail to prepare, we're not going to keep it properly. Okay. And remember, we do this right. We have time. We know this day is coming up. Okay. Prepare now. Don't be at, 5 minutes before, sun go down Friday and you try to stuff all the left down, right? Prepare, manage your stuff, making sure the house is in order, making sure you're ready to accept what the Most High is going to bring out for us. Okay. So let's keep going though. Let's keep going.
Verse
Let's talk.
5. And stand in the holy place according to the divisions of the families of the fathers of your brethren, the people, and after the division of the families of the Levites.
All right. So they're sitting in what? They're being divided by the families, okay, into the holy place because they have to serve the temple. Remember, the Levites are the ones that still got to deal with it. Okay, if they're off, it doesn't give nobody the right from another tribe to go and start doing this service. Because remember, they were appointed, they were anointed to do the workings of the temple. Okay. The law is saying they the ones that build the temple. We cannot usurp that authority over them and start doing the temple work. All right. So this is why the Levites is so important that they were right in doing this stuff. Okay. So all right, they just giving us more stuff. But all right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
So kill the Passover and sanctify yourselves, and prepare your brethren, that they may do according to the word of Yahweh by the hand of Moses.
So now he's saying what? Kill the Passover. All right. So the first one just told us in the beginning, all right, they kept the Passover, all right, unto the Lord in Jerusalem. And they killed the Passover on the 14th day. Right, we agree with that. Killed the Passover on the 14th day. So now we say in verse 6 in real time, kill the Passover, which is that lamb, right? And sanctify yourselves, make sure you clean, you set apart, and prepare your brethren. All right. Doing the things to make sure their fellow brothers and other believers are doing what they're supposed to be doing and ready for this event. Okay. This is supposed to be very serious. Okay. Not a game. All right. So let's keep going.
And Josiah gave to the people of the flock lambs and kids, all for the Passover offerings, for all that were present, to the number of 30,000, and 3,000 bullocks. These were of the king's substance.
All right, so the king gave some of his own substance so that this can be a major event. All right, and he's giving what? Flocks, lambs, kids, not little human kids, beloved. All right, they call it, the animals, baby ones. All right, so all the Passover offerings. So there's a lot of things. What is the Passover? They had other offerings that they were giving as well with the Passover. All right, because you can just give offerings anytime, beloved. Okay. You can give your free will offering, your peace. You can give certain things every day, all day, right? So this was happening. He wanted this to be a major event. He wanted to do these sacrifices to really, really get not just himself, but the people, the nation. Okay. This is why it's good to have that righteous leader because he's trying to make sure everybody is doing what thus saith the Lord. And we've seen this from King Josiah. Okay. I'm sorry, anybody have anything before we keep going? I didn't open it up. All right, let's keep going.
And his princes gave willingly unto the people, to the priests, and to the Levites, Hilkiah and Zechariah, and Jeliel, rulers of the house of God, gave unto the priests for the Passover offerings 2,600 small cattle and 300 oxen.
A lot of animals, right? But the princes, even the rulers, are giving that stuff up so everybody can get these offerings and throw these offerings out. They want this to be a big event. Let's keep going.
Benaiah also, Shemaiah, and Nathaniel, his brethren, and Hashabiah, and Jeliel, and Jezabad, chief of the Levites, gave unto the Levites for Passover offerings 5,000 small cattle and 500 oxen.
A lot. Just look at the numbers. A lot of cattle being killed for this offering. All right, they want this offering to go up before the Most High. All right, all praises. Let's keep going.
So the service was prepared, and the Levites stood in their place, and the Levites in their courses, according to the king's commandment.
All right. So this is part of the command, right? They have to stay in their places because what? They're doing the sacrifices. They got to do sacrifices for these things. Okay. This is Passover, the other offerings as well. They have to do it. All right. So they're all in order, ready to make sure they're available to do this. Let's keep going.
And they killed the Passover, and the priests sprinkled the blood from their hands, and the Levites flayed them.
So they're killing the Passover, they're killing the lamb, and the priest is what? Sprinkling the blood. All right, sprinkling the blood. And that blood could be that reference of atonement and things of that nature. We'll deal with that a little bit Friday. Okay, let's keep going.
And they removed the burnt offerings, that they might give according to the division of the families of the people, to offer unto Yahweh, as it is written in the book of Moses, and so did they with the oxen.
Okay, so they removed the burnt offering that they might give according to the division of the families. So they're what? Killing the they're killing the Passover and they're killing these other beasts. Okay, I said they beast. They kill these other offerings. All right. Let's keep going. They said this is written, right, to offer it according to how the book of Moses. This is how Moses was illustrating that they do these things. Verse 13.
And they roasted the Passover with the fire, according to the ordinance. But the
Mhm.
other holy offerings sod they in pots and in cauldrons and in pans, and divided them speedily among all the people.
So I want you to catch this. So I'm saying they roasted the Passover with fire according to the ordinance. Okay. And then you see the two dots. So it's kind of reinforcing that part was before. But the other holy offerings sod they in pots. So they're killing the Passover. Okay. They're killing lamb. But they're also killing what? The other offerings at the same time. All right. But once again, beloved, the sodding, they can boil them, they can cook them a different way. The Passover can't be, remember, you can't, you can't cook that anyway. All right. You can't cook that anyway. You just can't boil the pat, you can't boil another, you have to cook it right in that fire. All right. But the other ones, that's why I'm saying, but the other holy offerings, see, they can go into pots and cauldrons and be, boiled and cooked a certain way. All right. And they're dividing this among the people. Right? It's very important. When are they doing this? On the 14th day. All right. So you kill these Passover and kill all these other offerings on the 14th day. Now, next verse. Read this slow for me.
Verse 14. And afterward they made ready for themselves and for the priests, because the priests, the sons of Aaron, were busied in offering up burnt offerings and the fat until night. Therefore the Levites prepared for themselves and for the priests, the sons of Aaron.
So, to my understanding, beloved, when I read it, this one thing I'm going back and forth with, right? When we talk about when it's being killed, those kind of things. It says afterwards they made ready for themselves, right? So after they do all this killing and stuff, then they had to what? Do things for themselves, okay? Because listen, because the priest, the son of Aaron, were busy, listen, and offering of burnt offerings and the fat until when, Brother Kai? It says until night. But when it says they killed the Passover on the 14th day. But they were killing it until the night. So there's two understandings that I get from it, right? If you got it in the beginning, you're already in night. Either they were killing through the night, all the way in the morning until the next day when the sun was going down, or they killed it during the 14th day and it was for hours. They're killing all these things, and now they're getting to what? They're getting to that night. Which is that night? Feast of unleavened bread about to come right then, right? So if you're killing it until the night, it's probably feasible that what? You didn't eat it yet, right? You got to cook it. So they're still killing stuff. So by the time you're killing and then you're cooking, where are you at now, beloved? You now enter into the 15th. All right. So the 14th going out. If you look at it right now, let's say right now, depending where you live, right now it ain't dark yet, right? But let's say they're still killing. Let's say it's the 14th day. They're still killing these a Passover and these other offerings. And it says they're so busy, it's starting to get into the night. Okay, so this is what we say they're killing it. But if they were supposed to eat it the 14th day in the beginning, this shouldn't be in play. They already off. You had to eat it what? Last night. Okay, so hopefully I'm not losing y'all, but this is just another story that kind of like, that seems tough, right? I can't make it they was doing this the 13th, going into the 14th, because what did it say, Brother Khan, that first verse? When it said they
Verse
killed the
14.
Passover?
Verse 14.
No, read that verse 1. When did they kill it?
Con, I got you. Moreover, Josiah kept a Passover unto Yahweh in Jerusalem, and they killed the Passover on the 14th day of the first month.
So they killed it on the 14th day of the first month.
Oh,
So when they're killing it until the night, what day that has to be? It has to be the 14th day.
that's right.
It told you where they killed them, not 13th, 14th. And now they're going into a night. That's going to take you to what? Another day. But you see, it didn't say they was eating it. It says they were what? Killing the Passover. All right. So this is why I'm saying that season, you can kill that even at going down of the sun. That even time they're killing it. And I think they're right in play, right? For total to 14th day, you're killing it. But now it's just so much. If it was a little bit, they didn't have all these extra offerings, they could probably kill everybody, kill the Passover, and everybody be good, go home and we all eat it together at night. But they're saying it's so much, they still kill this thing, and the sun is going down. They're still killing these Passover. So this is why it was a big. This is a big one, Josiah's. Okay, because not just the Passover, all the extra offerings that were put on top of it. Right. What verse did we stop at?
Con, I got you. Verse 14,
Uh,
15. I think
okay, you can
15.
read 14. You can read 14 again.
Con. And afterward, they made ready for themselves and for the priests, because the priests, the sons of Aaron, were busied in offering of burnt offerings and the fat until night. Therefore, the Levites prepared for themselves and for the priests, the sons of Aaron. And the singers, the sons of Asaph, were in their place, according to the commandment of David and Asaph and Heman and Jeduthun, the king's seer, and the porters waited at every gate. They might not depart from their service, for their brethren, the Levites, prepared for them.
See, so they were staying there. So they're going tonight, and they're all still there because they have to what? They have their service they have to do and make their commitment. Okay. And what were they doing? That verse 15. And the singer, the son of Asaph, were in the place. Okay. So they got the singing and stuff going on. They got the music going on. This ain't no robotic thing. Oh, Sebastian, oh, can't do nothing. No. The celebration. They singing. They got the singers out. All right. You know, we got that music and singing out. It's a good time. Here it is. All right. Let's keep going. Verse 16.
So all the service of Yahweh was prepared the same day.
It was prepared what?
The same day.
It was prepared, correct?
Con.
So we see in that 14th day, they're doing what? Preparing.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't all finished. It said they're preparing. So if you're killing it on the 14th, you're preparing it. You're doing all this killing on the 14th day, and you're preparing it for what? You're supposed to eat it last night. Right? That was my thinking in the beginning. But how this is looking to me, I'm looking like, well, if you're preparing it and you're killing it, part of killing is the preparing, because remember the Passover is that meal, and you're doing it on the 14th as the sun going down. When is the time to eat it? That ending aspect of it. Okay. So like I said, I'm only saying it because there's two train of thoughts. And once again, beloved, some people doing the beginning, all praises. We doing the ending part because of some of these scriptures. All right. All right. Let's keep going.
To keep the Passover and to offer burnt offerings upon the altar of Yahweh, according to the commandment of King Josiah.
So all the service of the Lord was prepared the same day to keep the Passover. All right. So that was there to keep it. Okay. Because once again, when you think about preparing something, that's setting it up. Okay. So the 14th day was there to set it up. So you'll hear people saying like the preparation day of the back, right? This will be that preparation, right? He's setting it up to consume the meal. All right. So we look at this to the burnt offerings, all right, to the Passover and to the burnt offerings upon the altar of the Lord. So we know All this was being done that time, okay? Preparing to be consumed at night. Now, on the flip side, if this is the 13th and everything, some people argue with that, and all praises, they do. However, I'm taking the first aspect is what they said they killed it. They killed it on the 14th day. So I can't have them start to do it because then they're not killing on the 14th day, and that would make this irrelevant. But they said they're doing the killing on the 14th day. They're preparing it on the 14th day, and they're what? They got all this going on. Okay. So we're gonna go to.
I'm I'm so I'm
It's all right.
sorry.
If you got to step off, it's fine. Okay. And where did we leave off at? Okay, so that verse 16. All right. So offer the burnt offerings upon the altar of Yahweh according to the commandment of King Josiah. Why they saying it that way? Because Josiah is doing it according, looking at the book and saying, we're going to do it according to this. Okay. Because you'll have kings that, even though the descriptions up there, they be like, I'm not doing it. I'm going to do it my own way. All right. But King Josiah is getting this thing done correctly. All right. Now I'm going to read verse 17. 17.
17.
Oh, you're back. Yes,
Yeah, I'm
sir.
back.
Yes,
I'm sloppy.
you're fine.
And and the children of Israel that were present kept the Passover at that time, and the feast of unleavened bread 7 days.
Right. They eating the Passover, and that's starting what? We get right to that feast of unleavened bread, starting right then and there. Okay. And that feast of unleavened bread, or sometimes you'll see the feast of Passover, right? 7 days. Okay. This is why we're doing it for 7 days, the feast of unleavened bread. Let's read verse 18. Let's see if he freestyled, he did his own thing. All right, because maybe that could happen. Who knows? Maybe he had to do something off script. Okay. Let's read verse 18.
And there was no Passover like to that kept in Israel from the days of Samuel the prophet. Neither did all the kings of Israel keep such a Passover as Josiah kept, and the priests and the Levites, and all Judah and Israel that were present, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
So they're comparing this, saying it was none kept like this since the days of Samuel. So Samuel was the last time they actually did this thing to the magnitude of, of greatness. Okay. And we see they're doing it. And this is what we try to mimic. All right, beloved. Ain't nothing about you trying to copy something. If you want to copy something, copy greatness, mimic greatness. Okay? Because even if you fall short, you still way better than others. Okay? But if you want to mimic and be mediocre, then if you fall short, you're real low. Okay? So all, as they say, shoot for the stars. All right? Shoot for the moon. If you fall short, I think it's shoot for the moon. If you fall short, you're amongst the stars. Okay? That's where that aspect going. So we're looking at this and saying, all right, why did the Most High really look at this and say, this is how it's supposed to be great? And we want to take those pieces of greatness from this and say, how can we apply that now? All right. All right. Let's go to the next one. We're just going to kind of read it through. Okay. Let's go to First Esdras. First Esdras. Okay. So you go to the Apocrypha for this one. All right. It's the same Passover. All right. First Esdras in his chapter 1. First Esdras in his chapter 1. All right. And get there, you can read it.
And Josiah held the feast of the Passover in Jerusalem unto his Lord, and offered the Passover the 14th day of the first month.
What do you mean by offering? What's another word we use for offering? Kill the Passover. Okay. Offering, when you're talking about sacrifices, you're killing it. Okay. So he killed the Passover on the 14th day. Same thing. Verse 2.
Having set the priests according to their daily courses, being arrayed in long garments in the temple of the Lord.
All right. So they had their stuff on and they got their garments on. Okay. So getting a little descriptive of what how they were being setting up and preparing themselves. Okay. Let's keep going.
And he spake unto the Levites, the holy ministers of Israel, that they should hallow themselves unto the Lord, to set the holy ark of the Lord in the house that King Solomon, the son of David, had built.
And we read that, but they had the point, they put the holy ministers of Israel, which they were, all right, that they should what? Hallow themselves. They should consecrate themselves. Okay? Because if you are handling these sacrifices, right, you need to be clean. Okay, you can have clean food. You got somebody with dirty hands that can, tamper with the dish. That can tamper with the dish. Excuse me, beloved. All right. So as ministers, as servants, we need to what? Cleanse ourselves, consecrate ourselves. Okay. Now, of course, we're not doing we're not in the temple, we're not officiating as Levites and do it right, but we are still doing the service of the Lord. So we still need to be consecrated for this. Okay. To make sure we're clean, make sure we're going to the what? The right spirit, the right mindset. All right. Let's keep going. Unless
Verse
somebody
4.
had something.
Verse 4. And said, Ye shall no more bear the ark upon your shoulders. Now therefore serve the Lord your God, and minister unto his people Israel, and prepare you after your families and kindreds,
Hmm.
according as David, the king of Israel, prescribed, and according to the magnificence of Solomon his son, and standing in the temple according to the several dignity of the families of you, the Levites, who minister in the presence of your brethren, the children of Israel.
So why is it good? They're doing it according to the David, the king. So this is when we're going to look at it. How we're going to do this right? How can we do it that is pleasing to the Most High? You need to go to the scriptures. All right. He didn't just, well, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to no. He went to the scriptures to see how the Most High has illustrated and walked this down. And he's saying, I'm going to mimic that. Okay. Verse 6.
Offer the Passover in order, and make ready the sacrifices for your brethren, and keep the Passover according to the commandment of the Lord, which was given unto Moses.
Beloved, I like to be transparent. It says offer, which means kill, right? And it says kill the Passover in what? What's that word? In order. What does that mean? Right? Offer the Passover in order, right? Do this thing how and the order and the illustration of how it's supposed to be done, right? So offer the Passover in order. Why I'm saying this is because he ain't switched nothing up. He looked and said, this is how Moses and them did it. Am I making this? I mean, let me know, beloved. Offer the Passover in order and make ready the sacrifices for your brethren. So he's talking about the Passover and the other sacrifices that we read. And keep the Passover. How are they supposed to keep the Passover? According to the commandment of the Lord, which was given unto Moses. So he's saying you want to keep the Passover just like Moses illustrated for you to do. When do you kill it? When were they killing it? As Brother Kai read before, the 14th day. The day, 14th day time. And they're killing it into the night. This is that season that appears Brother Josiah is doing this Passover, mimicking how the scriptures illustrate for him to do. Let's keep going.
And unto the people that were found there, Josiah gave 30,000 lambs and kids, and 3,000 calves. These things were given of the king's allowance, according as he promised to the people, to the priests, and to the Levites.
Right. So this is out of his personal thing. Because this is the other thing, beloved, as well. We come, right? And we want to bring something to the Most High. So the king, out of his own substance, saying, you know what, I'm going to provide all these things. And yes, of course, king had much wealth, right? But he given what? He's given much. And it's not about the material or the offering that he's giving. It's about his heart. He wanted this thing to be big. And it wasn't about him. He could have just kept it saying, I'm just going to sacrifice these against my servant. No, he looking at what? He's loving the people. Told y'all that a few weeks ago. A good king, a good leader, is to love the people. What greater love? He's given his own substance so they can enjoy this thing. Because it's supposed to be a celebration. Okay? For all of us. Let's keep going.
And Hilkias and Zacharias and Salus, the governors of the temple, gave to the priests for the Passover 2,600 sheep and 300 calves.
Mm-hmm.
And Jechonias and Samias and Nathaniel, his brother, Asabias, Akel, and Joram, captains over thousands, gave to the Levites for the Passover 5,000 sheep and 700 calves.
They get more specific of the number that they're giving out. All right, so they're giving a lot, beloved. Okay, it's a lot. These ain't like rabbits and stuff where they have all these babies per year, right? The sheep and everything, like you get two. All right, so they're giving a lot of substance. I want you to understand they're giving a lot when they're giving these sheep and everything. This ain't nothing small. All right, let's keep going.
And when these things were done, the priests and the Levites, having the unleavened bread, stood in very comely order according to the kindreds.
Okay, so they're sitting there. Remember, I said they were sitting in order and everything serving. What are they serving? Unleavened bread. Because what? They're preparing for this. You got to eat unleavened bread with the Passover. However, what's starting off? That 15th day, you're kicking right into what? The Feast of Unleavened Bread. Part of the what? Preparation of it. Let's keep going.
And according to the several dignities of the fathers for the people, to offer to the Lord, as it is written in the book of Moses. And thus did they in the morning.
When they do it,
The morning.
they doing this stuff in the morning. When is the morning time?
6
Okay.
a.m.
This got to be when the sun here. They're starting to kill it. So if we had the theory, and I'm bringing this point out. So, Brother Kai, if we have the theory that it started the 14th day at night in the beginning part, right? It says they're doing this killing what? During the daytime. You already supposed to eat it. It's supposed to be what? Destroyed before what? Morning happens. They're starting the killing on the 14th day during the daytime.
Mhm.
Now, see that, beloved? This is why I said I'm scratching my head. That can't fit. If you're doing the beginning part, if you got to a morning, y'all still talking about killing something Passover, you should have missed the boat. Unless they're eating on the other end. Then they can be killing it all day, as it would take all day because you got all these sacrifices. Right? We can't start at what time is it right now? You can't start an hour ago and you got 2,000 sheep you got to kill, flay, right? You can't start then. It's so much. They're starting even beforehand. But they ain't doing it tonight. They're starting that 14th day. They're using all that. And it's so much, it's still getting late. And they still killing the stuff. It's getting nighttime, going to 50, and they're still killing it. Okay? So they have these things set up, unleavened bread, they prepping all these things that 14th day. All right? To be soothed and ready. So everybody can sit and eat and enjoy the presence of the Lord that night. Let's keep going.
And they roast the Passover with fire as appertaineth. As for the sacrifices, they saw them in brass pots and pans with a good savor.
Once again, according to Moses, you have to what? Roast the Passover over fire. But the other sacrifices, they don't have to go into that because that's something separate. That's just the offering. But the Passover roasted with fire. The other ones, they solid, they can boil them. Okay. They can make a stew or whatever, or soup, whatever they want with that. All right. But the Passover, that lamb had to be with fire. Let's keep going.
And set them before all the people, and afterward they prepared for themselves and for the priests their brethren, the sons of Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
For the priests offered the fat until night, and the Levites prepared for themselves, and the priests their brethren, the sons of Aaron.
So they started killing around that daytime, even started in the morning, right? And they offered until what? To the night. What is it going to get you to now, beloved? It's that next day. If you're killing it until night, when are you consuming it? Unless they're going to wait till next year and consume it 14 days at the beginning, they have to eat it that night. And it says that this was according to what we read earlier? How Moses described it. They said this is a great feast. No, it hadn't been done like this since Samuel. That's huge, beloved. To just be dead wrong, you know? So let's keep going though. Let's keep going. Let's give you a little bit of insight of how, some of the stuff going. I hear different teaching. I see stuff, I see different things, and there's some great points that other people make. Don't get it wrong, beloved. Okay? We just want to take your time, you study, and then you just pray to the Most High. And if we are off in anything, what should we do, beloved? All right? You need to ask God for forgiveness in anything we do. Have mercy in anything we do. Saying, Lord, accept our heart. All right? The true sacrifice, accept that. that we are doing the things to the best of our knowledge and understanding. And if we continue to open up our understanding, we're going to do things even better. Okay? Let's keep going, Brother Kai.
The holy singers also, the sons of Asaph, were in their order according to the appointment of David, to wit, Asaph, Zacharias, Jeduthun, who was of the king's retinue.
Mhm.
Moreover, the porters were at every gate. It was not lawful for any to go from his ordinary service, for their brethren the Levites prepared for them.
You have to stay in order. Don't start venturing off doing other stuff. Stay and do what you was assigned to do. Let's keep going. We got about 4 more verses.
Thus was the things that belonged to the sacrifices of the Lord accomplished in that day, that they might hold the Passover.
So they accomplished it that day. What was that day, Brother Kai?
14th day.
Kai, the 14th day. That they can what? That they can hold the Passover, keep the Passover, not miss
Mm-hmm.
it, so that they can keep it.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I'm interpreting it, beloved.
That's right.
I'm just, I'm being very transparent because I don't
Mm-hmm.
got nothing to hide, right? These things belong to the sacrifice of the Lord accomplished in that day. They keep telling us the 14th day they're doing this. That they might. So they're doing something 14 prepare for what? That they might hold the Passover, that they might actually keep the Passover. But they are already into the day part. The only night to come up is what? 13th. Okay. Let's keep going.
And offer sacrifices upon the altar of Yahweh, according to the commandment of King Josiah.
Mm-hmm.
So the children of Israel, which were present, held the Passover at that time, and the feast of sweet bread 7 days.
This and what? 11 bread, 7 days.
Mhm.
Verse 20 and 21. That's it.
And such a Passover was not kept in Israel since the time of the prophet Samuel. Yea, all the kings of Israel held not such a Passover as Josiah's, and the priests, and the Levites, and the Jews held with all Israel that were found dwelling at Jerusalem.
All right. So, beloved, that's just they're the same account as Josiah's account when it comes to the Passover that he held, right? And we want to always come with the same spirit, not about us, but about doing this thing right for the Lord, giving our best for the Lord. Okay? So, beloved, we will end it there. We will end it there. All right. To our online family, as always, we say shalom or shalom or shalom, which is different forms of peace, and a yana habathum, which means we love you all. To our online family, and Lord's willing, y'all have a